Andrew Tate is the best marketer of our generation, and whether you hate the guy, you love the guy, you're a top G enthusiast, or you're not and you just despise this person, I think that we can all get behind, and if you can't, I'm going to walk you through his entire strategy, but I think we can all get behind. He is one of the most effective marketers that has lived in our generation and potentially one of the best marketers that's ever lived. And in today's video, I'm gonna walk you through his viral marketing strategy, the pillars of what he did to put that business together. I'm not here to compliment Andrew Tate again. I'm gonna remain very neutral on who he is during this video, but I am gonna talk about some of the very genius tips and tricks that he's done from a marketing perspective that I think all of us entrepreneurs can take and apply to our businesses. And if you don't have a business yet, this could be something you can do to kind of kickstart whatever idea or, kickstart the idea of starting a business. I think there are some very valuable takeaways. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to see more finance content, or you want to pivot yourself to be able to make more wealth than you have right now in the future, don't be afraid to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Also, I would very much appreciate if you like the video, if you enjoy this content. It's free to do. Both things are free to do. Without too much more, let's get straight into the video and talk about the top G. Hopefully you don't live under a rock and you know who Andrew Tate is. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna go into the full who is Andrew Tate. He's been in social media for a long time now, and I don't even wanna get into that right now because I wanna remain as neutral as possible on who he is. I'll let you pause the video right now and go research who he is if you don't know who he is. Now, he's done something in the history of both the United States and the world that we've never really seen. We've seen it before in chunks. Certain people and businesses have been able to implement certain aspects of this, but we've never seen somebody both come to fame and capitalize financially so quickly from a few simple marketing tricks, and Andrew Tate has done that immaculately. So let's break down everything he's done, and then we'll talk about how you can apply it both to your business, or if you're thinking about starting a business, regardless of the type of business, that you can apply it to what you're doing. So the pillars of what Andrew Tate has done in his marketing strategy. The first thing he's done is he's created some type of virality. For Andrew Tate, he has looked at the current opinions in the United States, and he's decided, I'm going to pick a niche and identify with that niche and feed them statements that they agree upon because it's within their belief system. And I'm going to pick a niche and community that will then repost and make very targeted positions on his content on social media. On top of that, the opinions that he's funneling are very much against the rest of the community and society in the US, and they butt heads intentionally so that he gets the positive from the community that he's attaching to and he's pulling in to relate with him, and he's getting the very negative from the rest of society and the community that very much disagree with him. But both of those things, what they're doing is they're driving him up in the stats and analytics of every single platform that he's present on. Actually, the hate that he's getting is actually more pragmatic. Now, most people we've seen get hate, it is truly hate. But what's happening with Andrew Tate is he's formulating these ideas that don't just get hate, they have to be responded to. And he's creating this spider web of content where you're seeing reposting, he's going on interviews, people are looking at the reposting of repostings of repostings. He then is so involved in what social media means, both in the US and worldwide. Now, he has identified the market really well, and he's picked an underserved community that is very opinionated and isn't served very well in the US. And for most of the US, for a large portion of the US, that community is looked on pretty negatively because of their belief system. Again, I'm going to remain neutral. I want to remain completely neutral here, but he's representing a very underrepresented community, and that is, again, everything I just said, it is pure genius. So he's positioned himself in that way to get viral in content. It is something that you can do. He fortunately did have a start where he was already known. He was a fighter, he did other things in social media prior to that, but he didn't have that much of a following stateside before he got into that space. So that does show you that, if you position yourself a little bit with social media, it doesn't take that much time to then build that viral content strategy. Now, I will say, it's not something to mess around with. I honestly am not sure if Andrew Tate feels the way he does about some of the topics and social views he has. I can't tell if he's only doing it to to be the marketer he is. He may actually believe those things. I actually think, based on his actions, and especially the actions recently in the news surrounding what's happening with him, I actually think that those were all choices and beliefs that he was only putting out there for this marketing strategy. So the beauty of what he's doing is that was only about 20% of what he was doing. And that's crazy. When you think about the amount of virality he had, where that's only about 20% of the strategy, that is mind-blowing. The next like 60 to 70% of his strategy, and this is where you see more application of what people used to see on YouTube content surrounding e-commerce and dropshipping. He used an affiliate program, right? And that sounds ridiculous, and you might say, what the heck are we about to talk about? So he had a course. I'm not even gonna name it because I don't want to promote it in any way, but he has a course where his following that has similar world beliefs will go in, and it teaches them how to be successful. It doesn't teach them just how to make money, it teaches them how to be successful. So it's catering to a different thing, but from where he is gaining is teaching them how to be successful. So he's making a metric ton of money from selling this course. Now the beautiful thing is he's selling it to his community, right? And then he's using the content within the course to promote to his community to then sell to the existing world. How do they do that, right? So in this course, one of the pillars, or one of the ways he says that you can become free, you can do whatever you want, you can have a Bugatti, you can do, you can live in Dubai, you can live across the world, you don't have to work anymore, is to use affiliate marketing, promote him, and therefore promote his course for a very large affiliate commission. Now, I will say, it is a big amount of money for a lot of people, especially this underrepresented community that initially is taking this course. It is a fair chunk of money. This system has been deployed for decades, many decades. It's the, you can call it the pyramid system, you can call it just the way corporate America runs, you can call it how sales structures are. Some people call it a pyramid scheme. It's kind of a sales structure. It's truly what affiliate marketing is. And before we talk about how the affiliate marketing works, just when somebody goes out and promotes his course and he's giving away, let's say 50% of the commission, he's still making 50% of that commission, and he's spending $0 advertising it, more importantly, 0 time, and it's driving organic growth. He's selling to his community, hey, if you promote my course, you're gonna make more money, and he's growing there. Now, the problem is his value statement isn't bad. It's not like these schemes where you're selling like products or Avon or beauty or cleaning supplies. He does it in a really smart way. He's actually solved that pyramid scheme problem. Instead of just selling the course or funneling and saying buy the course, he's saying repost my content and reconfigure my content, and a certain portion of the viewership is going to convert and buy the course naturally. You won't even have to sell direct to consumer. So this does two things. This both gives a proof statement to his customer already that if they repost content and do all these things, they're not buying into a pyramid scheme. They're not paying anything up front. They're not selling direct to consumer. They're playing the numbers game of, if I repost and remake this viral content that is like pushing against social norms and butting heads up against the rest of society, a certain portion of the viewership is going to convert and start selling money. So not only is that another exponential growth vehicle for his course that's making him his money, but it's also looking at that front 20 or 30% of his entire marketing scheme and increasing the amount of viral content that's going out. It is saturating the market. And I think if anyone was on TikTok maybe 8 months ago, you'll know that it was working. Every other TikTok, even if your algorithm wasn't targeted towards Andrew Tate, every other TikTok had Andrew Tate in it. So he's then not only funneling the business and his pyramid of his course, but he's also then padding and growing the social media side and lowering his investment into then bolstering the social media side of things. It's actually pretty ingenious. And then the last thing he's doing, because those are already two beautiful pillars that he's figured out how to make a well-oiled machine out of, the last thing is he's indoctrinating the top 5 or 10% of his community. So what does that really mean? The way that he's built his course really identifies with a certain portion of the community that already supports him and buys into that community, so much so that they adopt some of the things that he's doing and make him not just a human being that is this like celebrity, this viral person, but creating trends around some of the actions and approaches he has. A great example is you could see Aiden Ross, who has shaved his head and has changed his life and done all these things. So not only has Adin Ross then promoted and associated with Andrew Tate, which causes social proof, promotes his course, promotes his virality, but it also then takes somebody out of Andrew Tate. It takes the values away from this bad human being and promotes the course separated from this human being, because it's promoting the values that you get from the course, and they're not necessarily tied to somebody that you disagree with. So let's say you're part of Adin Ross's community and you say, I don't like Andrew Tate, but I like the things that Adin Ross has taken from that. Maybe I'll take the course to get those same values. I don't have to like the guy, but I'll get those values out. So what he's done is he's created in the top 5 or 10% of his community, he's indoctrinated those people to help take him away from the equation, build a brand around what he's created around himself, and now he's beginning to target that middle ground that people don't know whether or not they want to support Andrew Tate, but they like some of the value that he's providing. So I know that I've been talking for a fair amount of time here and describing his business, but the reality is between those 3 things, he has created not just an enormous amount of virality, but he's generated an enormous amount of money with very little dollar spend. When you look at the community that he has, his courses, we're talking about a Discord server. My guess is that he's spending almost nothing, less than 6 figures a year to maintain everything that he's doing from a business side. He does have a Bugatti. He has all these nice things that are part of his brand, but the reality is if he wanted to stop and sell all those things, he could still operate everything he's doing for under 6 figures. And while we don't exactly know how much he's making, we do know by the rest of his purchases, even if he were spending every cent he has, he is making significant money, and the multipliers of the money that he's spent and what he's getting on a daily basis is nothing short of remarkable. Also, what he's done to society and how he's marketed to society, how he's affected every single one of our lives, the fact that most of you watching right now know exactly who he is in such a short period of time is remarkable. Now, you might say you can be famous for everything else, but I'm not going to say he's talentless, but his talent is marketing, right? He wasn't a very successful fighter. What he's good at is doing exactly what I described, and it's incredible. So, having heard everything that I just said, I do want to address, how do you apply all of that to your business? Well, we can pull a few things out of it. We can talk about the social virality of what you're doing, or review of as a person. We can talk about how do you build some type of affiliate structure where you have promotion or organic growth through your customers. And then how do you take the top engagers of your community, your business, your products, and redeploy them to then grow the organic snowball of what you're doing. So the reality is you have to figure out a way to promote your content, your brand, your persona, whatever you're selling to make money, and make it viral. Now, I'm not saying go out and have opinionated, social headbutting ideas, but what I am saying is do something that stands out to the point where people are then going to repost or use that content. So that would be the easiest way of doing that. That is not going to affect your brand image, whether your brand is you or a product and you're hidden. I wouldn't take the same approach unless you're willing to go all in, but just know that if you go all in, Andrew Tate is Andrew Tate forever. He's never going to be able to disappear. He's made a life choice where he's going to be that person for the rest of his life. So you have to understand that as you go into that. That would be the content side of what you're doing. Take his model and get pretty close there. Where that really comes into play is figuring out how to get some type of organic growth out of the existing community. Now, his attempt is unique, but what you can do, and I've talked about it in other videos, is what you can do is engage with some of your community for self-promotion, whether that's through discounts or whatever it's going to be. Add some value back to them. For Andrew Tate, he was paying people an affiliate commission. Maybe for your business, it's adding a discount or giving 50% off or a free service in exchange for them promoting your content. Those people don't even have to be viral. All they need to do is have social proof in a community. That can be enough for you to profit off that engagement and get that organic growth. Lastly, it's doing the same thing I just talked about, but with the top engagers of your business. Get them looped in, get them pulled in, make them feel like they're important, make them feel like you're giving something away for free, make them sponsors of your business. Do whatever you need to do where you have a very low cost or still a profitable relationship with them, but make them feel very, very part of what you're doing and part of your brand. And then have them go out in the trenches and do the first 2 things for you, reward them with that. Maybe with some of them, you bring them on as employees. But that could be as simple as giving someone a free product and saying, I will give you this free product. Please review it and post it where you can. And as you know, over the next couple of weeks, please give your honest opinion around it. If you have a good product, that's going to grow your stuff and you're going to redeploy that person constantly. And I'm telling you, once you have this snowball, like we saw with Andrew Tate, and it's rolling down a hill full of snow, that snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I can tell you for a fact, although I don't use everything Andrew Tate's done, and a lot of my businesses started before he did all of his viral stuff here, I use a lot of the pillars of what he's done and all the things that I just talked about to have grown my businesses. And my two current businesses right now, I've spent $0 on advertising, and they're both a drop shipping and in-house manufacturing business. And if you are in that space and you hear that, that should be a big wow factor. And I'm not trying to sell it as something amazing or that I'm some type of genius, but I've spent the time and really focused on how do I build a business and not have to pay to advertise it. And I've fortunately been able to do that. Now they're still growing and I hope to grow them further, but there's some social proof about this kind of stuff works and you can deploy it on your business. And if you haven't started anything, there's just a guide on what literally the best marketer of our generation is doing on a day-to-day basis. Hate the guy, love the guy, whatever he's doing. You could copy that and try to copy that and grow your own business. So something to think about. I wanted to make this video and be as neutral as possible. I'm going to make some follow-up videos because I think that there are core pieces of all that we can get deeper into and analyze. But, we'll call it a day for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't be afraid to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully you're a little bit wealthier in the next video than you were today, and that's why you're subscribing to the channel, because hopefully we can grow our wealth together. I'll see you guys in the next one.